Fix up your routine or create a customized workout plan with free fitness training. That's right, certified trainers, unlimited sessions with best-in-class equipment. Plus, there's over 2,700 convenient locations to choose from, with most open 24 hours. Save $28 or more today when you join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends April 11th. See Home Club for details.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Koppel also has over 10,500 off list on new select models. So please stop on by and see what confident driving and confident buying is all about. We're right down 144th Street or online at koppelcars.com. All deals with the roof credit, 0% is standalone.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Get ready for spring by joining an evidence-based program to improve your health and well-being. These programs use proven strategies to help you make lasting changes, whether it's boosting nutrition, increasing activity, managing stress, or enhancing wellness. Invest in yourself today and feel your best this spring and beyond. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got DeMornay Pierson-El on the LO VIP line where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. We're going to talk some Husker men's hoops. We'll talk a little bit of Husker football if we got time, but we'll definitely talk some NFL today as well. DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going on this Wednesday night here in Lincoln, Nebraska?
It's going well. Nothing too bad, It could be way worse.
Yeah, it's actually not too bad at all today. A little bit chilly, but not too windy. I'll take it. I'm not complaining after some of the weather we've had in the previous weeks. But as always, let's actually kick things off here and let's put Husker hoops here in the front because they do play tonight. They won't tip off anytime while we're talking throughout this hour, as I believe their tip-off's 8:30. But they got Georgetown after they obviously got their big win over Arizona State. And I'll just say this much though: DeMornay Pierson-El. This spread has been moving wildly in Nebraska's direction, and it's a little bit inconceivable for me Not that it can't happen, but I'm surprised by it. Right now, I think it opened around 6.5. Yeah, it did. And now the spread's all the way up to 10.5, favoring Nebraska. Are you surprised at all to see that with Georgetown, very similar record, 18-15, and again, Nebraska 18-14?
No, I wouldn't say surprised. They weren't as dominant in their conference. Their game started off a little sloppy as well. I know they finished strong too, but I'm not surprised. I mean, again, you got Bryce, who's a handful. We looked better with playing more consistent. Guys are showing up, so hopefully, they can still play off of that momentum. So I'm not surprised at the spread and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going through their game here. They've, I will say though, they've played some of these really good teams pretty close. They had lost to St. John's only by 5. They had a brutal, really tough stretch. They had a number 7 on the road game versus Marquette. Then they had number 8 UConn at home, and then they were on the road versus St. John's. They lost all 3 of those games, but all of them outside of the Marquette game. Actually, all pretty close. UConn, they lost by 6 points. St. John's, like I said, they only lost by 5. They're not necessarily getting blown out, but they had a horrendous close to the end of their regular season is really what killed them. Their schedule, it looks pretty damn similar to Nebraska. It looks really promising early on, even with some big wins. Yes, you take some losses, but it's to a Michigan State, a very good team. And then the end of the season, you just completely lose your offensive ability, despite the defense being okay. That's why I am just surprised to see Nebraska favored as much as they are, because when I look at these two teams, I think they look pretty similar on paper. I can't figure out why why Nebraska seems to be jumping out ahead so much, unless there's a key injury that I'm just missing here. But no, that's the way it sits right now, with Huskers heavily favored. If they are going to win this one, though, tonight, give me 3 keys of victory.
3 keys to victory. I think consistent shot making, getting points. Last game, we had 3 guys get over 10 points. And I know we pulled it off, but Georgetown's a better team than Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to have a solid, 5, maybe 6 guys, hopefully, get into double digits to win. I think absolutely scoring over 75 points, as you said a few days ago, is a part of it. Transitioning in defense. Creating points, creating energy. I think that helps them out as long as they don't stay stagnant or stay slow with things and whatnot. I think that will definitely help them out. And we also said it earlier, wasn't it? If we keep our certain opponents to under a certain score,
75,
we win.
Yeah,
so
75 points is that number.
So we score over 75, great, we win. We keep our opponent under 75, great, we win.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those two, those things are definitely, and it's not anything crazy. It's not anything that they can't handle. It's not anything that we haven't seen. They were arrested. They kind of, got into a groove. It's a decent team to match up against. It's not like it's a Oregon. It's not like it's a Illinois. It's not like it's a Michigan State. It's someone that is relatively close, same type of talent. You just have to go out there, and play better than them.
Yeah, and it's a game where you're just gonna have a bunch of teams in here where it's the atmosphere of this college basketball crown is a little bit more fun than I anticipated, because it's like kind of an unsanctioned type of deal. I mean, I shouldn't say that. That's not the right word for it, but it's just it's an outlier for surely in itself. Not taken as seriously as even the NIT, but you're still showing up to hoop. Like, nobody's showing up just to not have fun, but you are seeing some pretty strong emotions in these games, which has been good. That's been a pleasant surprise. I wasn't sure what the players' response would be, but it seems like everyone's taking it pretty seriously. In their last game, again, looking at Georgetown and their win versus Washington State, they won that one pretty close, 85-82. Georgetown shot about 40% from the floor, okay from 3-point land, about 35% from there. Really They're pretty good on the glass. They do have some decent bigs when it comes to rebounding. Is that more of the conference they're in, or more so just their talent level there? I think they got one guy averaging at least 8.2 rebounds a game that we'll have to deal with. Yeah, I'm just like going through their stats. They're very similar. Again, once to Nebraska, it's like kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. There's nothing on this team that really seems overly dominant that Nebraska wouldn't be able to come over. But at the same time, Nebraska, we've seen them, and again, what I'm surprised by their 10.5 point favorite is they stall out a lot. It takes sometimes minutes, sometimes an entire half of basketball before this team gets its footing underneath itself. And that's, my real concern for Nebraska. And it's always been my concern for Nebraska up until about mid-season when it really locked in there is, can you play a full game? So I'll say that for my key to victory, pretty simple. Just play a full game. You cannot have a 5-7 minute scoring drought. And that's something that unfortunately Nebraska has been pretty frequent to, is running into those 7-minute droughts.
Yeah, I have nothing, against that at all. Looking at their stats, they got 4 dudes that consistently, that average, over 10 points, over 12 points, really.
Yeah.
And outside of that, that's not anything terrible. Just kind of keep things under control, keep things in front of you, and just do the simple things. The glue guys step up. I'm not saying you got to score 15 points or whatnot, but you create turnovers that turn into fast breaks, that turn into points, or that keeps the energy flowing. I think starting fast and just maintaining that energy will kind of carry in throughout the game.
Yeah, and I guess watch out for Malik Mack. My Lord, I don't know how I missed that one. In their last game, he had 37 points. He was 8 for 12 from the 3-point line, 13 for 24 on the floor, played all 40 minutes. 37 points, 8 for 12 from the 3-point line. All right, Nebraska. Key number 2, stop Malik Mack. Don't let that guy get going. That's a hell of a stat line. I didn't even realize that he was by far the leading scorer for that one. They also got Caleb Williams on there. He was the third leading scorer with 13 points. And then they got Burks on there as well, who had 16 in that game. Okay, so it looks like they definitely got a guy in Mack who's capable of just going off in an explosive fashion. But they don't play a lot of guys. They're playing 8, and their 8th guy got 2 minutes of the game. Their bench players as a whole got 17 minutes of bench minutes. So that's the other part. Final key, make them pay for playing all their guys about 40 minutes. It's a team that's going to run through their starters pretty much all game long. If they're going into the bench, it's for a 1 possession, 2 possession type of deal, or you got an injury or something serious happen. But they don't go into the bench. So that's another point where Nebraska, can you have something similar to what you had versus Arizona State? Just Arizona State was a really slow start, but that second half, they had a lot of energy. They found a way to finish strong. I think it's a Georgetown team, especially if you're, got the lead on them already, you can really take over in that second half. I think this team should expend itself a little bit, just because I don't think they're going to have too much of the size advantage. The buckets are going to be tough if they go inside. You just got to take care of versus Georgetown. Very even matchup. That's my keys to victory. I know they're pretty simple, but I think that's just kind of where we're at with this team.
They're actually going through their roster. They're actually kind of huge. Like, they're big, 6'7", 6'6", 7 foot. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Okay.
It's gonna be a battle with the bigs.
I'm looking at it right now. They are a little big, the morning Pierson-El.
I'm going through. I'm like, wait a minute.
All right, Braxton McKee, number 4. Braxton Mia, Andrew Morgan, have a good game and show up and make sure you box out. I think we pointed out Sam Hoiberg was the leading rebounder.
Yeah,
for the Arizona State game.
That's kind of unacceptable. Is he right at 6 foot or 6'1"?
I'm 6'2" and he's shorter than me.
Okay, so he's 6 something. We'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna blast him like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna put him out there.
you got other people that definitely can step up and whatnot, but a guy under 6'3", I don't think should be the leading receiver, especially when you have a few trees of yourself.
Yeah, and that's again, we're great on Sam Hoiberg's part, but it's always a little bit infuriating, and I was talking to Austin Norman about this. That's been my biggest complaint about that backcourt that front court is just when you have that much size. Like I'm not asking for double doubles. I'm asking for like 10 and 5. That's about it. Like that's a good night for me. I'm not asking for a whole lot more. You just gotta find ways to be productive the same way Cale Jacobson found ways to be productive. Doesn't have to be assists, but just figure out something that you can do on the court to make that offense more efficient, whether it's just smart, high IQ plays. I've seen Andrew Morgan do it a few times where just sealing a guy completely out of the way so Bryce Williams has got an easier drive to the cup. But at the same time, like when you're picking and rolling, if you're just don't be floating out there, like roll or get the hell out. Sometimes that's standing around stuff. You're not going to get a lot of rebounds when you're kind of just standing back watching all the time. That's why Sam Hoiberg is rewarded. That's how a guy like him gets 7 rebounds, because he's actively looking for that rebound, not just waiting for it to see where it bounces off the rim, expecting where it's likely going to come off the rim. Those are all things. That's how your guy that's, we'll say 6'2" is getting 7 rebounds in a game with a bunch of dudes a foot taller than him, is he's just paying attention and putting a lot more emphasis into it. Now, what's your confidence level seeing the size of that roster in Georgetown?
I mean, they lost for a reason, so regardless of their size, I mean, the coach has a lot of turnover. He puts a lot of people in, so, maybe if people get in too much, they get in trouble. They're not in the right places. They might not be, have their lane integrity and discipline and everything like that. So, it could turn over for you to where, it's just kind of a undisciplined team, and you could take advantage of that. Just with them being taller, an emphasis is just, getting more opportunities on the offensive rebounding and getting people, in foul trouble necessarily to kind of take, the wind and the sail out of them. It's just a different way to, to kind of get after them and don't let them, be the hammer.
Yeah, we'll see what needs to happen here. Maybe you even try to switch it up, play a little bit of small ball. That was really effective for Nebraska versus Arizona State, but Arizona State did not have the bigs. Certainly not anything near the size of what Georgetown's going to have. This should be a good one. Again, that one's 8:30. Austin Norman, he'll be down there. He'll be, I'm sure, tweeting out throughout the game, giving you guys some extra looks, insight on coverage. You can always give him a follow on X. Can't remember exactly what his handle was, but just look for him, 93.7 Ticket Austin Norman. He'll get some updates about that basketball game later tonight. I think that's all I got on Husker Hoops, though. I think it's a wait-and-see moment. I'm going with the Huskers to win. I'm not going to pick that spread, though. 10.5, I'm not touching. Are you?
No, I'll pass.
Okay. So I think we agree there completely. We'll take the money line, but absolutely not taking that spread. 10.5's nuts. Again, I don't understand where they get that number from when you have a team who's just their entire problem is those 7-minute droughts. But the nation's confident in Huskers. At least it seems that way. All right, let's talk a little bit of NFL here and put the pin on Husker Hoops until, of course, that game wraps up. We'll go kind of mock draft. We'll tie into some storylines along with it as we're going through this, and we'll probably do this all the way up until the end of the hour. But right now, quarterbacks, who should you think should be the number one guy off the board in terms of QBs? Because that's certainly where the Titans are likely going to go.
Honestly, you got two guys that can go either or. It's just a preference of what you want. I think people have a lot of hate towards Shedeur just because of the name, just because of his father and everything like that. The kid's a stud. The kid's a baller. I mean, if he does go first overall, I mean, it's much well deserved. He puts in the work. He's going to show up. He's confident. He's going to speak his mind. And as a person who needs a changing dynamic and a splash or whatnot, he can definitely provide that. And then, with Cam Ward's experience. He's been it all. He's been playing at a high level for a long time. Even Jack Tuesdays with Washington State. It just depends. Both of them deserve it. both of them I think is definitely deserving. I mean, one is the I think won the quarterback of the year award. One of them was runner up, I think, in the top 3 for the Heisman. So I mean, they're decorated players. You can't be mad at either or which one you pick. Now, which one deserves it? I mean, that's just what playing style. What do you want to do? Do you what do you want to bring to the table? Do you want a bigger guy? Do you want a more mobile guy? Is there some other outside things that you don't want to have to handle? If you do that, it makes your job easier to where, you don't have to always feel like you might have to fight because of, the Dion effect, and he will have his hands involved in that. But I mean, both guys deserve it. And I don't think there's a wrong choice with whichever one goes.
Yeah. I mean, whichever guy ends up being wrong here, like, I'm not going to give the guy who picked wrong between Shedeur and Cam Ward and give them a lot of hell for it. I don't know. I would kind of hate to have this decision. I don't know who I'd want to go for. I think you maybe go for Shedeur Sanders, but Shedeur Sanders, you could argue, had better weapons, but he had the worst offensive line, but better receivers. And then Cam Ward, he's kind of the more, I think, natural quarterback, what you think of, just a guy who with a really massive, like, cannon for an arm that he can throw that thing on an absolute rope if need be, and he's really good pocket presence, and when it's figuring out when it's time to step in or just quick run. Shedeur really good at scrambling as well. We've seen that, especially that first year with Colorado.
He extends plays. He's not looking to necessarily run and tuck the ball. He's looking to beat you with his arm.
Yeah.
And both guys really are. I think Shedeur does have the better extending the play pocket ability. Not to say that Cam can't. And also with just I think both quarterbacks can match up well with the personnel that is with the Tennessee Titans. Of course, I think it's going to take some time for that coach to kind of establish his identity and what he wants to do. But just being with that style of quarterback, I mean, if you look at, the Jared Goffs when they were, with McVay, if you look at, even Jared Goff, with Ben Johnson and everything like that. But if you look at the head coach of the Bengals with what he has with Burrow and everything like that, honestly, I think Shedeur favors that better than Cam. But Cam can also fit in that role. It's not bad. You would definitely need more weapons. Your defense, is in a bit of a pinch. Outside of Calvin Ridley, I don't think who's the running back from the Cowboys. I don't think he's there anymore. Tony Pollard, I don't think he's there. So I think Tennessee not only has to revamp the quarterback position, but just their identity holistically. I think Shedeur is better equipped with that just through his trials and tribulations with being in, at the HBCU, having to work through things and everything like that, and even going, to Colorado and everything like that. People still had to come all over, check their pride, and still get there, to play and make things happen. So you've seen him play consistently and kind of turn things around than some of these other quarterbacks. Now, how often do we see, quarterbacks in the top 5 that can flip around a franchise and really do something? I feel like in the last maybe 10 years, the top 5 picks, or within the last, or the first 5 picks, if their quarterbacks, there's only been a handful of guys that have flipped them from them being the number 1 team, having the number 1 pick, to a very strong team. Something like Cam Newton, how he was. He went number 1 overall. Jameis Winston, not to say he didn't play well, but he didn't have the type of effect as Cam Newton. Not Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, you can say that, but he's in the middle. This next year can kind of put a stamp on that. I think Baker Mayfield, his time, he was number 1, number 2 pick. I think his time with the Browns, he got them to the playoffs. He gave them a different, mentality. They were consistently building and being fine. And I don't know why they moved on from him. But, you can't really say the same, with Marcus Mariota. He's an excellent guy. I love him to death. But he didn't have that type of impact to where, Cam went to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. So it's only a few quarterbacks that have successfully gone number one, overall within the top 5 picks that have actually turned around the franchise. Look at
what was Trevor Lawrence?
Look at that. That's what I was thinking of. Look at Trevor Lawrence. His situation. He hasn't really turned around. Did they have a few good years? Yes. Did they win? Did they win and go to the playoffs and win the division one year? Yes, they have. But Baker's done more, in that situation than that. Jared Goff has done more in his situation with being with 2 different teams. You know what I mean? So it's a hard line. I think Justin Herbert is a heck of a quarterback as well, but he's teetering the line. But I would put him more so above it. He's had change at offensive coordinators, head coaches. He's had turmoil, but he's on the same kind of level as Baker Mayfield. So there's not it's not easy going in the top 5 as a quarterback and changing a program, or changing an organization around to being, dominant of what it was, something like, Cam Newton did with the Panthers for, a period of time.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And even even a guy like Joe Burrow, even if you are him, sometimes you just need luck as well. I mean, he's doing the damn thing. The defense has just been that bad. Like, you go look at last season with Burrow, he was phenomenal.
He's been hurt, so to not to say that he's not performing, he's a darn good quarterback. And like I said, but it's not easy going that high up. And, you could look at Justin Fields. Sorry, I know that shouldn't be that. He's an ex-Bear and everything like that. But that whole situation, you know what I mean? CJ Stroud, he's trending up. I know last year necessarily wasn't probably what he expected, but for the 2 years that he has been in the league, for what he's done, for most people, that go in the spot that he went, it's hard to do that. In 2 years, you win your division, you go to the playoffs, I think win at least one playoff game. He needs a few more years to kind of put a stamp on things, but he's definitely above the tracker.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, we'll quick do just number 2 pick here on who you think it should be. Really, I mean, the question is essentially the Browns have the number 2 pick. Who do they go for? Do they take just best player on the board? Do they take Hunter? Because he's going to be there. Because Titans are definitely going to be taking a quarterback. So then you're.
To me, I feel like it just depends on if you can trade for 1 or 2 quarterbacks of what they were talking about. If you can get a Dak Prescott, or if you can trade with the Cowboys and the Cowboys come up and they might take a quarterback or whatever. I mean, that's just me just being wild and throwing something out.
Right.
Or if you can trade with somebody else who's quarterback hungry but still kind of top 5, maybe 6, to where you can still get a pretty good player. And if not, if you don't get the compensation that you want, Travis Hunter is definitely doable.
That's why I think you just take the best available player, because you're kind of in a mess. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm like, let's just get as much value as we can.
Who would be the best player, though? I mean, you got 2 generational talents right there. Both can impact the defensive side. One can impact the offensive side as well. And whoever the quarterback is, Travis wouldn't be bad. You sign Miles. Travis can play offense and defense, can help you out on both sides. Especially with who's in that division. You're going to have to guard DK, George Pickens. You're going to have to guard, Lamar. You're going to have to guard Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. So a 2-for-1 at that position. That might be the move.
Not a bad move at all. I mean, I think if you're the Browns, that might be the best move you can make, because I'll look it up how much possible dead money they're still facing in their books. But we got to go ahead and throw it to our first break here on the Dome Punt Hour. We got the morning Pierson-El on the LVAP line. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We'll talk some more NFL on the other side for segment number 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor-Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor-Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com. Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac, nachos, and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K, or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hey, what are you talking about over there? Huh? I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. Morning, Pierson-El on the LO VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. Good morning, Pierson-El. Let's talk a little bit more into some NFL mock draft, and then I do want to split it up and just talk about some of the QBs in the league, in particular, one that's in an interesting spot, especially if he's going to decide to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or not. But let's move on here. And we'll just kind of go, instead of trying to take a wild swing on who these guys are going to draft, we'll talk more about what they need. And we'll use what CBS mock draft has for what their best guess is. But we said, I think on the Cleveland Browns, what'd you say on what they should probably do? Didn't you want to trade down?
I would say trade down. If you don't necessarily get what you want, then I would take Travis.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. Trade down if you can't get much, or you can't get something you think it's worth it to trade down, then you take Travis. I think he's the best available player. If you're going to go down that, the Giants, where do you think those guys need to go? CBS has got them taking an edge.
This is a tough situation just because you do have Russell in there, so I do think he's a better option than what they have. I don't know if Russell is enough to compete in that division to win, and if he's not enough, because I mean you got a bunch of young guns, running the division. I mean, outside of Dak, so I think for them, do you wait for next year and see how bad you do to try and get a Manning back in a uniform? Do you take a McCord or the kid out of I think Louisville, or do you take Dart if Dart is still there second round and just kind of go with that and try and implement what Green Bay has, or do you just you're not sold on a quarterback? And, that D-line is, Thibodeau's been all right. I think he's been, having a lot of injuries. Big Dex is doing, big things and whatnot. So definitely beefing up, that defense would definitely, I think would be key there if you're not in love with the quarterback.
That's exactly, yeah. I think that's where most people are leaning. They'll probably take Abdul Carter. I think if they're going on the defense out of Penn State, you just get an absolute dominant edge there. So I think you're on the exact same wavelength of what these guys were thinking here, and so far have been throughout this mock draft. Patriots, offensive line, blue chip lineman, probably. Kind of depends on what Vrabel wants to do over there.
I mean, he's a dominant person. Their D line is stacked. They don't have to, really do any of that. I think, if Travis is available at that position, they do grab him. If he's not, I'm going to throw a wrench into things because of how Vrabel was in Tennessee. I wouldn't be mad if a running back comes off the board here. He's gotten there and kind of trimmed some things there of some, quality players, some staple pieces that were there. So I would be shocked of how high maybe a Genty would go. But you put him in that offense with those weapons around and everything like that. I could see offensive line, but again, free agency is still there. You can still go get veteran offensive guys to kind of plug and play. But a bell cow, at running back, I think takes the top off things for a young quarterback.
Yeah, really the running back room, you don't really have any bell cow in there. Whatever you think of Stevenson, he's fine, but
and I mean, I think, and I'm not saying that Genty is I'm not saying he's a McCaffrey. I'm not saying he's a Saquon Barkley and everything like that. But he has a high ceiling. He does do a lot of things. He's fall forward. He's a strong back. He could be an every down back. and he's explosive, and that can definitely help you with what's in your conference. You got Miami that you're going to have to try and keep them off the field. I mean, their speed. You got Buffalo. Buffalo. I mean, it's going to be a grinding out game. That's a divisional game. You got the Jets there. So I think, their attack with running the ball, slowing the game down, letting, play action develop. I think Genty would be an excellent pick right then and there to kind of just another weapon, another tool for that offense.
Vrabel might do it too. He'd be the guy. I don't hate it. Like if there's going to be anyone who does it, yeah.
They hit. I think they've probably had one of the best off season just with their free agency picks. They revamped that D line. That D line's going to be physical. They're going to get after you. So I think
they did better than the Bears. I'll give them that in free agency. Like I think they were the best than anybody else in the NFL. I think they probably did the best. They got stacked in the offseason, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
You got your main guys locked up, for the next 2-3 years. You got Stephon there as a true number one. I know he's coming back from a knee injury and everything like that. I think just that you add to the running back position in that, I think that ties everything up together. And just understanding what he was trying to do and what he was doing in Tennessee, the defense will be fine. That they have pieces and players. They'll find gems, but you got a chance to get a quality back early, and for cheap that you don't have to, pay out. And if it necessarily doesn't, work or whatnot, I mean, nobody's going to be mad or upset at him or, the kid out of North Carolina. I mean, he might jump up and be, the number one back. I know people might think things are crazy or whatnot, but, he fits the style of what Vrabel wants to put in and do.
Yeah, the only, how in love are they with Drake May? You might think. So if they're really in love with Drake May, I think the right thing for them would be go ahead and get yourself a blue chip lineman. I think they're a little bit weak there. I would say, I'm not betting that they're going to go ahead and switch it up and pull the wild card that you're thinking, but if there's anybody if they're going to see any sort of craziness, I would say the Patriots is probably the best bet for it. Because they did do a lot during the off season, so they don't absolutely have to just throw it at a blue chip lineman.
McDaniels is back there. He's home. He's an excellent offensive coordinator for them. So I think the more weapons and what you can kind of add, I think. Like I said, I know it's a shocker. Like I said, I think they're crazy enough to do it.
I wouldn't hate him for it either. I really wouldn't. It wouldn't be a move where I'm just like, I don't understand why. Like I can see the reasoning behind it. We'll see what happens with the Patriots. That's gonna be a good one. See what they do. If I had to lean though, I'm gonna go ahead and they take based on everything that we're saying right now. No lineman's been taken, so they'll probably take Campbell out of LSU if they do decide to go. That's my wild swing if they go with the offensive lineman, which I think they most likely will. Moving on here, we'll go a little bit of rapid fire. Jaguars, they got the 5th pick.
I think they go that D lineman out of Michigan, the nose.
Graham.
Yep, 55. Yeah, I think they go there. If not that, that's where I think the first offensive tackle. I think the guy is he out of Texas? I think the other good offensive tackle. I think he comes off the board there. If not the D lineman.
Yeah, I don't hate the Jaguars. Is just a worst team you could go to as a rookie. Not thinking about taxes or anything and stuff like that. Just like places where you want to play.
No, I wouldn't think them. Worst place to go to.
I don't know. That place just feels like poison, though, with injuries and all.
Carolina. You can say that about Carolina. You can say that. Oof.
I'd say modern day Browns. Because I don't know what the heck those guys they're a mess unless they get they got the 2nd pick though, so maybe it's a little more fun. And Travis,
you're in Florida like that. Like I know they haven't been winning and everything like that. Maybe the Colts, no offense, what are there to do in Indy? There, like come on now, I would say between the Colts and the Browns, honestly. Like, I mean, I've been to Cleveland, not a huge fan of Cleveland. I like their stadium.
I've never heard anybody leave Cleveland.
I like their stadium. You know, I think their fans get after it or whatnot, but it's just always something. They always screw something up. And I think Cleveland is one of those places where I'd just be like,
I agree. I think out of all the locations, that one, it'd be different if they had a history of winning there. But
the Bears.
There's this. Yeah, all right. At least the city's cool. Like Chicago's a cool city. You can't say the same about Cleveland.
Yeah, you got good food. You can try different things. You got good shopping.
Yeah.
Chicago
over Cleveland any day. You got that going on.
Any day. Any day.
But you do got to deal with that lake wind, which is just miserable in the wintertime. But number 6 pick, your Raiders.
Ooh. This one a bit. I think defense. I think they lost a lot of pieces on defense. We had a safety leaving free agency. We had a nickel, one of their best, guys leaving free agency. Linebacker, left in free agency. So I definitely think it would be someone on the defensive side. I don't know if you go corner that high. I don't know if you go outside linebacker, or that would be hard. I think it's going to be somebody on the defense. I just don't know which exact position it would be. Offensive wise, Tyler Lockett is still out there. I think that's going to be fine. If Genty is there at 6, I think that you can kind of give him. Hopefully, he turns out to be a healthier running back than what they got in Seattle. Is it Kenneth Murray? I think. Hopefully, that he kind of gets that type of big playability when he's healthy. He's on one, but that's his issue. He's always not healthy. You got Geno there. I think so. The offense will be in command. He's a smart quarterback. So if Genty's there, I would take Genty first. But if not, somebody on the defense. You got Will, the kid out of the corner out of Michigan. He's a lockdown corner, especially with what you're in the conference of playing, the coaches and the offensive mind. You're gonna need somebody to follow around. Some of these coaches' number one receivers.
I like it. All right, rapid fire here on the others. By the way, it's the one I'm looking at. They got you guys taking the tackle out of Missouri. I got no idea on the Raiders. You guys are going through a transformation, so you're trying to figure yourselves out right now. Jets, and then we got of course, Panthers, Saints, Bears. That's the first 10 picks. Rapid fire here. Jets, Tyler Warren. That's what they got. I think it makes sense. Tight end room's wide open. Warren's the best looking tight end that we've seen in a while. Well, no, we did have Brock not too long ago. Give me the ceiling on Warren real quick, and then we'll rapid fire the rest of these.
I think a bit more the ceiling. Ooh.
So he did everything over at Penn State. We've talked about it before, but I
would say maybe a more athletic Kittle, and I know that's a high praise, but he blocks well. He does everything. I don't think he's as physical as Kittle is. His energy and his tenacity with that kind of overshadows a lot. But I think that the stuff that Kittle can do or does, I think Warren can do that.
I don't hate that comp. I mean, he did enough things athletically to make you think he can be a little bit like Kittle. A slower Zach Ertz, a young Zach Ertz in Philly. That's a good one. A slower Zach, and not by much, but a slower Zach Ertz. I think that's the best one.
Yeah.
All right, we got the slower Zach Ertz going to the Jets. Carolina Panthers, number 8.
Ooh.
Anything you want. Do anything you can to fix this. You got enough holes everywhere. You just can't mess it up. Just make sure whatever you hit is the right player. I think if you're the Panthers, you take best player on the board.
Yeah.
Like, you don't overcomplicate it. You're bad just about everywhere. Take the best player that you can get. And I'd imagine who do they have? They have Jalen Walker, edge from Georgia. Great.
From Georgia, yeah.
There's not a whole lot of areas they can go wrong, I don't think.
No, not at all. I mean, he's a wreak of havoc. I mean, those guys that's been coming out of Georgia for these last couple of years, have taken off. So, I mean, it wouldn't be bad at all.
And to another team who needs a quarterback, number 9, Shedeur Sanders, Saints. Or Jackson Dart, if they throw the curve on it.
If I think if Shedeur is there at 9, I think that would be a steal for the Saints. Like, you could, that would be, Drew Brees-like aura, not necessarily aura, but Drew Brees to where that can turn around a franchise with a Super Bowl winning quarterback with the weapons that they have with Kamara down there, and that they'll add of what they're going to do. And with their conference is the weakest conference in all of football. The NFC South is terrible. So I think Shedeur there, it's a big city. They're a good organization. They listen. The city is going to love them. I know they probably hate his father, but the city will embrace him. I think that would be an excellent pick.
That's the most fun one by far, I think, is Shedeur going to the Saints. That's fun. That's he still gets to wear the black and gold. You're right. I think the city would 100% get behind that. I think that place, Saints is one of those teams that the NFL is just doing a lot better when the Saints are better. And I think he's a good enough quarterback that if he went down there and he could get things clicking, I think New Orleans could be a really fun team, a league pass team, if you will. All right, number 10 pick, Bears.
The Bears, I think they'll go offensive line. I know they went and got a lot of veterans on the inside. Maybe the next best left tackle to kind of let him go and develop and become Caleb's best weapon.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Some people got Ashton Genty. I will say if he's still there at Genty, I think you think about it. But I think I said it before. I like the move of, you might even just trade down, depending if it's good enough, and you just load up on really good linemen, depending, how many linemen are taken early on if you can't get blue chip. But I'm pretty okay either way. You double down on the trenches, and if you're Bulls, you can make sure that's good for the next 5 years. Or if you really like Genty, maybe I wouldn't hate getting him in there either. I think he's a phenomenal back. I'd be curious to see how it played out. But that being said, that's first 10 picks. We got to throw it to break. We'll have one more short segment on the other side. This is the Dumb Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El, Harrison Arns. Talk to you a little bit.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that
first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in as I find the correct camera. This is Don't Punt Hour. We got the host, as always, DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. You guys can join in via the Sartor Heyman text line. DeMornay Pierson-El, to wrap things up here, let's talk about the mysterious man known as Aaron Rodgers, and will he be on an NFL team before the season starts? Your thoughts?
You know, it's always something with him.
It is.
I mean, a heck of a player, definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, certain things have earned their right, but after a while, you know, it kind of gets, you know, old, following the same beat to the drum. You know, I hope he finds a place. I think he still has a lot left. I mean, him to the Steelers would, I think that would be something serious and that people would have to watch. You got, again, old, general going against, a bunch of, young cats in the game that, are really motivated and whatnot. So I think him competing in that division, I think will elevate everybody in that division. I think you'll get the best Lamar, you'll get the best Joe Burrow and whoever the quarterback is in Cleveland.
Sorry, Cleveland. Didn't mean to laugh like that.
I did. I don't care.
Yeah, I laughed just because the way you said Cleveland. You couldn't even say Cleveland with a straight face. Yeah, I don't know. With Aaron Rodgers, the question for me is is he? I don't get what's going on here. If he's holding out for leverage against Minnesota, because Minnesota's coming out and saying we don't want you. We're pretty good on McCarthy.
I think it's more of a situation of if he wants to he doesn't want a Kirk Cousins situation. I think that kind of it's a dirty business at times. People do, teams, organizations do what's best for them. He doesn't want to kind of be all in or, expecting a certain thing and then, you get Kirk Cousins. I think a huge thing. If he wants to, mentor a young guy or whatever, so maybe he gets to choose, where he wants to be at. But I think he wants a team that's fully invested, in him and not necessarily kind of looking past him.
Does he know how old he is?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe you're right. And that's more plausible than him holding out for the Vikings. Because I don't think he'd be holding out for the Vikings anymore. I think obviously he'd take it, but I don't think that's why he hasn't signed with the Steelers, is because he's waiting for those guys. If you're the Steelers, how desperate are you for Rodgers, though? Because they might also be pretty desperate to get the deal done.
Desperate. Because that you get Rodgers, that changes, who you can pick at I think they're at 21 if I'm not mistaken.
Let me pull it up, but it's deep for sure.
I think it's 21 because Denver's at 20.
21.
That changes who they can pick. You don't have to necessarily worry about something right then and now. You can kind of take, maybe the best player available right then and there. Offensive lineman, because if Aaron is old, you can kind of do that. You can figure out exactly what you would need.
Yeah, I just don't know why the deal's dragging on. Then we got to get ended up here, but it feels like both groups are a little bit desperate here. I don't think if you're the Steelers, you don't make all those moves unless you're planning on getting a guy like Rodgers. You also don't have a pick unless they think they can get Dart. Is that what's going on there, and is that what the holdout is?
I don't think so, but like I said, Aaron might be. He doesn't want to step into a situation in Green Bay. He doesn't want to step into a situation, like in Atlanta. So there's that. But who says Dart goes right then and there?
That's what I'm saying.
If that's the case.
It's interesting. We got to get out of here, but that's we'll keep our eyes on the Rodgers. It's not really so much as a sweepstakes anymore, as there's only about one team really left that's interested. But we'll get out of here. This has been the Don't Punt Hour with the Morning Pierson-El. I'm Harrison Arns. Off the field with Kendall Lanier up next.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics